Game number, what is this, 3, but technically week 2. Adam Green here, Mike Bauer, and let's see, it was 24-23. I'm looking at the scoreboard because it's a preseason game and scores don't count.
It was almost a tie at the end, and then it wasn't going to be a tie because Bruce Arians was like, no way, I'm going to go for a tie. And then they lost anyway, so all's well.
He said pretty much this goes against every rule in preseason football is to go for the tie, so they didn't go for the kick. But forget about
no
these.
No one's mad at him for that either.
Right, nobody is. Forget about these third stringers, fourth stringers not kicking. What are some of your main takeaways from the game? I thought a couple things that stood out. Honey Badger was outstanding. We're right down. He made that interception right there. But other than that, any other things stuck out for you?
Yeah, the offensive line, the first team, didn't look too great. Bruce Arians is always big on wanting to watch the film, and DJ Humphrey said the same thing. But we watched the game, and Carson Palmer was under duress for much of his time, and also David Johnson had nowhere to run. So the first team offensive line struggled in this one. I thought Brandon Williams, if you're looking for a positive, he was really good tonight. He almost had an interception, and he said he thought he played bad because he wanted to get that interception. And of course, he's going to remember that play, but a couple pass breakups, it was everywhere he needed to be. Drew an offensive pass interference on a play, 2 on a deep pass because he got his head around. So for a guy that they need to play well, or a guy who would help if he plays well, Brandon Williams, I thought, had a very, very good game.
I mean, I think coming into training camp, coming into the offseason, I've been harping on the Morning Fanatics all offseason long. The offensive line, a huge concern for me, keeping Carson Palmer upright, allowing him to make those throws. They did not look good at the beginning of the game in terms of the offensive line. And one of the other narratives, you mentioned Brandon Williams, has been that other cornerback position. Justin Bethel made a couple plays. Now a couple of those plays where they looked good, it was because terrible quarterback play from the Bears. But at the same time, Justin Bethel, I'm not going to say he's got a lockdown on that other cornerback, but he definitely wants us to stop talking about that other position.
It's his job to lose right now, and all through training camp and in the preseason games, we've seen him. He's a different player than he was last season when he lost a hold of that job. So right now, Brandon Williams, I don't even know if he's the first one behind Justin Bethel. It might be Tremont Williams, the veteran, but either way, Justin Bethel looks like the number 2 cornerback, which we have to remember, if he is that guy in the regular season, the ball's still going to come his way a lot. So he's going to give up some plays, but he looks capable of making some plays too. And we talk about the concerns. Offensive line is a concern. The number 2 cornerback was also right up there. And I feel a lot better about the number 2 cornerback than I do the offensive line after tonight and, of course, the last couple of preseason games and training camp.
Cardinals go to Atlanta. That's the next game for them. It is the 3rd week of the preseason. It's their 4th game, but it's really game number 3.
How do you approach that?
You just forget. The first one never happened.
Does it count? So this is the 3rd one that the dress
rehearsal
won.
None of them count.
But I mean, like the dress rehearsal, no one treats the 3rd preseason game like it's,
Yeah, this is it. This is the one
the new stadium.
Yes, they are opening up the new stadium.
With the Chick-fil-A that will not be open on most game days.
Right, that is correct. Also cheap beer, which is excellent. But for the Cardinals in the next game, obviously, I think for everybody, we want to see the first team offense get some more extended reps, be able to move the ball. David Johnson only got 3 carries in this game. He was in for pretty much a hot minute.
That's enough for David Johnson.
That's too much, I guess.
That was Arians. He's like, he doesn't need to get tackled. And it was kind of like, you don't want to see David Johnson get tackled at all because it doesn't matter. When Tyrann Mathieu was returning that interception, if you were like me, I'm thinking, get tackled, run out of bounds, just go down, because not that you can be afraid of injury, but there's no sense in risking it when it doesn't matter. Like if he goes down in a regular season game, that stinks. You see someone go down tonight, that's as bad as it gets.
So it's a 1-point loss to a Chicago Bears team that, as you know, I'm a Bears fan. So that's a terrible loss, but really it's a preseason game. It doesn't matter. The Arizona Cardinals things to build on. Also some good things, and we'll see what happens in the 3rd game of the preseason, which is really their 4th, but it's week 3, so that's the one that counts. That's up next at Atlanta, taking on the Falcons.